Shalawam, sister. Shalawam. All praise to the Most High.
Shalawam. Shabbat Shalawam to everybody. And yeah, getting into that crash out spirit. All praise the Lord. Lord willing, is edifying, and we give all honor and glory and praises to the Most High. Call it how shine.
Come on, all praise to the Most High. I'm gonna get this foundation of precept, 1 Peter 4:11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Yahweh. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Yahweh giveth. That Yahweh not things may be glorified through Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, to whom be praised the men forever and ever. Amen. So all praise to the Most High. I want to speak those things that are pleasing in His sight, the oracles of Him. Everything that we do and say, we want to praise the Most High, give Him the praise, the honor, and the glory, the thanks, because it's only His ability. In Hebrews 10:24, let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. So on here to provoke our sisters unto good works, Lord willing. Our praise the Most High for another Sabbath day. Call it Habashim Shai. We made to see another sisters chat. Lord willing, is edifying. And yeah, gonna be getting into the crash out spirit. Most I put this in my spirit almost about a month ago. That's just something I wanted to talk about through the spirit. Yeah, because that crack. I just so happened I was on TikTok and I had seen this video about a crash out. So then I went to search in like the crash out in like the search bar, and it's like a trend, like people showing them crashing out. It was a trend. I don't know if it is anymore or not. I don't know. I don't build TikTok, but I went. It was like a trend though. It was like people were showing videos of them crashing out, or they were showing past videos talking about when I used to be a crash out. And I'm like, no way these people are making this a thing, bro. Like, this is not cute. This is not funny. And so I just want to talk about it because I know I struggled with that anger spirit as well. And it could definitely sneak up on you. But I also wanted to read some articles that I found because, the Most High, He like created everything. He's the God of everything. He's the God of science. He's the God of everything. So when you look into anger and how it just how it starts in your body, the Most High, like He did all of that. He intertwined us perfectly and made our neurons and made our emotions and all these things in our brain and our body. And so it's good to understand how all these different organs and systems in our body work, so we can know how to, because all of it is spiritual at the end of the day. It's good to know how all these things work so that we can tackle spirits like the anger spirit. Because when you understand like what anger does to your body, it'll be, I think like it's better. I know for me personally, it's easier to tackle it when you understand. Okay, just let me breathe. Let me breathe. Like breathing, I'm telling you, it sounds like minute, but I'm telling you. But so I'm gonna get this piece Now she got so much to say. She was so quiet. Now she got so much to say. But so, shh. So first we have to practice being slow to wrath, because being an angry woman or short-tempered all the time is not commonly. It's a tough spirit to fight, definitely, but we have to recognize that we have to recognize what keeps bothering us, and sometimes it's something we battle in the world, so it's a part of being renewed as well. So first of all, when you're angry, obviously it's a problem, like meaning there's something that is bothering you. Something is making you upset, so you have to confront that and see what it is that keeps triggering you. What is it that's making you mad? What is it that's making you upset? And more times, often than not, really it be stupid stuff, like Satan's trying to get you out the spirit, if I'm being real. Like some stuff ain't even worth. Brielle. some stuff ain't even worth being mad about. Like most of the time it just be Satan about small stuff. Other times it be big things that your feelings are valid about. But that's why you got to be able to discern and know when things are Satan. But anger is it's a normal emotion, so it's not wrong being angry. But right when there's the right reason, because again, there's some stuff that's petty that you shouldn't even be mad about. Just letting Satan play with you. You just letting Satan use you like a puppet. Like, you really mad about that? But other stuff, rightfully so, you have a right to feel angry about. But it's about not sinning when you're angry. What are you doing when you're angry? And that's what this crash out spirit is. People get angry and they act like a freaking fool, and act like they ain't got no sense. This is James 1:19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. Okay, so wrath means extreme anger, basically. Most High doesn't want us angry, extremely angry. He let me put it like this. Don't be so quick to be angry. Like, you don't want to be a hothead, all easily annoyed, always got some snarky to say. You don't want to be known for, like, in the world, uh people sometimes they make it normal or cute. I got anger issues. You don't want to F with me, bro. I got anger issues. Bruh. Ain't nobody scared of you. Like, it's just like, you don't want to make the anger spirit normal. It shouldn't be normal. Ecclesiastes 7:9, be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger rests in the bosom of fools. So con. And then I'm gonna get Ephesians 4:22. Because don't pride yourself in, I'm not the one to F with. I'm still working on myself. Don't piss me off. That's not cute. That's not cute. That's not cute. Ephesians 4:22. That you put off concerning the former conversation the old man which corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that you put on the new man which after Hamashiach Yahweh is created in righteousness and true holiness. So, we just really got to continue to strive to put away that old woman, because this crash out and trend is not cute. It's not funny. It's not cute talking about, I'm not the one to be effed with. And of course you should know, the things you still struggle with. But put that old woman off. Don't make it seem like it's a cool thing that you got anger issues, you quick to pop off. Nobody wants to deal with that. And the behavior like that is not getting you into the kingdom, because it's not fruits of the spirit. So, kind of you.
I want to get something in that same chapter in Ephesians, verse 31 and 32. Because we got to, just like Sister said, just like Most High said, we got to put away these things from us if we want to make it to the kingdom. It reads, let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice, and be kind to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as Yahweh for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. So we got to be willing to put stuff away. We can't be harboring anger and, we holding grudges and, this person tried me, this and that, all that, we leave that in the world. That's not what this truth is about. That's not what the Most High is about. And if we want mercy from the Most High, we gotta be merciful to others. Because it's been plenty of times that we make the Most High mad, angry, and He has every right, because we're going off. But I wanted to also get Proverbs 14 and 17, just going into how people who are angry or quick to anger, they deal foolishly. It reads, he that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. So you don't want to be a short-tempered sister, like the sister was saying. You don't want to, people got to walk on eggshells around you. Oh, I can't say this. I don't want so-and-so and so-and-so to get mad at me. Oh, I know if I do this and then. Nobody wants to be around nobody like that. How are you supposed to be a light unto your people if nobody wants to be around you because you're always mad about something? You're always catching offense about something. Nobody wants to be around that. And I'm going to get, one more. Proverbs 18 and, no wait. Actually, I want to get Galatians 5. Galatians 5. Because when you said that's not the fruits of the spirit, it made me think of this, the fruits of the flesh. Because it says in the same chapter, what the fruits of the spirit are and what the fruits of the flesh are. 5, and I'm gonna start at 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies. And I'm gonna get 21 too. Envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. So you're not making it into the kingdom with the wrath spirit. You're not making it to the kingdom crashing out on everybody. Somebody steps on your shoes, you're crashing out. Somebody do this, and that, you crashing out. That's not, the Most High doesn't want that in his kingdom. So you gotta choose ye this day, the life or death. What you gonna do? And the Most High wouldn't put it as a work of the flesh if it wasn't important. If it was just, oh, ha ha, he he, that's just how I am. I just got a short temper. That's just me. No, it's not gonna work like that.
Exactly. That was beautiful what you said. Was that it?
Con, you go ahead.
Yeah, that was, you made some mighty points to the spirit. Like you said, haha, that's just me. No, bro, that shit, you don't normalize it. That's not funny. It's not cute. No, I'm telling you, don't nobody want to deal with that. I promise you, don't nobody want to deal with that. If somebody tell you they want to deal with that, they lying. No, they don't. They
Or they
probably
got
trying to be patient with you. You said what?
I said, or you got demons on you because
right,
especially
right, yeah, right, exactly, because man cleave to their life.
They got that same
right,
spirit.
especially like them toxic relationships where people always cuss each other out. Like, I be saying this all the time. I be telling my head, bro, people be liking that stuff. Like, people be liking that. They be liking that toxic stuff. They be liking that. I'm a slash your tire. You don't want to F with me. It be them demons. That like, it's like a hunger that turns them on, and it's not cool. Like, we gotta be willing to put away that flesh. And like you said, I just struck with anger spirit. You know what I'm saying? Brielle, she was not doing this when you was talking. She was quiet, playing with her toy. Every time she hear me talk, okay, I'm gonna talk. Man. But this is Ephesians 4:26, because what you were saying, like, then you brought out a good point. One of the Proverbs precepts. I forgot what I was gonna hit on with what you said, but it made me think about all of this. Be angry, sin not, let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Oh yeah, you was talking about not harboring and stuff like that. This also is something I wanted to bring up, because again, anger is a normal emotion. And again, it helps you realize, okay, something is bothering me. Something is making me upset. I need to address this problem. Again, you have to be able to discern what actually, like, is it a legitimate reason to be upset? Or are you being petty Betty? Like, let me give you an example. You mad at your husband because he left his shoes on the floor. Girl, just pick the shoes up. Seriously.
Yeah.
You mad at your husband because he didn't text you back. You mad at your husband because he didn't tell you that he was finna go to the store. Or you mad at your husband because he forgot to lift the toilet seat down. You mad at your husband because I'm naming stuff my husband.
Sister Vinny.
You mad at your husband because he dang leave his clothes everywhere. So I'm like, that's so petty, minute stuff. Like, I don't even let this stuff bother me. I see it and I'm like, oh. But I mean, I don't be mad at it. It's like, it is what it is. I'm used to it. Right. But don't be mad about petty stuff like that. Like, that's so petty. That is so petty. Don't be mad about petty stuff. You mad because a sister didn't text you back. Like, you gotta pick and choose your battles. Don't let Satan use you like a puppet and you get mad over petty small stuff. You mad about a dream you had. And sometimes, like Sirach 23 talks about, sometimes it be Satan hopping on you in them dreams. Everything is not, no, Sirach 34. Everything is not of the Most High. So you have to be willing to discern, okay, is this an actual situation that's bothering me, that's weighing heavy on my spirit, or is Satan just really trying to use me and I'm not being able to discern that? Now, if it is something that is actually bothering you and somebody has and somebody has caused offense unto you, it's good to talk about things. Be angry and sin not. It's good to talk about things because you don't want the anger to build up and now you got resentment. So But you got to be able to discern the time and know when it's the right time to bring that matter up. Psalms 4:4. Stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. Selah. So sometimes it's just good to be still, especially in the heat of the moment, because you don't want to say something or do something that you're going to regret later. I'm telling y'all, I've done that so many times, and it's not good. It's not a good feeling. People get tired of you apologizing, and the Most High, he kind of gets tired of it too. Like at some point, you got to clean your act up. Nobody constantly wants to hear the same apology. Like one time, my husband told me, "Stop apologizing." He roughly paraphrased, and he was just like, "Stop apologizing, just do better," and that cut me up. And I've done better since. I praise the Most High. And so it's like eventually people are going to get to the point they don't want you to keep apologizing. Like I'm actually tired of your apologies because you're constantly doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. I understand when it's flesh and we struggle with things, but some stuff is like a conscious choice. Like you really could work on that thing and get better if you really wanted to. And also, when it comes to battling these spirits, you have to remember the power that you have with the Most High. You have by Shema Shai. Stop letting Satan rule you and rule your flesh. Have control over that demon. And stop letting Satan use you like a puppet master. So this is so again, know when it's the right time to talk about things. Like in the heat of the moment, don't say nothing. I'm telling you, learn from me. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Walk away. Be still. And again, if it's the actual offense, bring it up at the right time after you've talked to the Most High about it, prayed about it. And something that I do, like when the spirit of anger is trying to hop on me, I also pray. Learning to do that. I pray and just try to rebuke it because sometimes it just be Satan, silly stuff. And if it's actually something that I know is like, okay, like this is wrong, I just give it to the Most High. I know I've heard people say before they don't like to pray when they're mad or sad, which is crazy because what you gonna do then? So I go and give it all to the Most High, like just let it off my chest, give it to the Most High, ask the Most High to guide me, give me wisdom on how to handle the situation, to not act crazy in the heat of the moment. And also breathing, y'all. We're gonna talk about that later in the article. Make sure you're breathing. Breathe. But this Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So sometimes it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And sometimes it's both. It's not what you say, it's what you say and how you say it. So be mindful of how you talk to people and what you say. Like what you say and how you say it, because grievous words, that can make somebody want to get up there with you. So don't provoke people to wrath. Don't provoke people to wrath. Have discernment. Like just be considerate of how you're coming across. Because I ain't gonna lie, if you keep talking crazy and doing stuff, one day you're gonna meet your match. You're gonna be looking crazy, and most are gonna judge you. Period.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, don't be, especially like sometimes people talk crazy to people they know really not gonna say nothing back. You know what I'm saying? We trying to little girl or bully people. And again, you're gonna meet your match if you keep acting like that. I'm gonna get 2 more precepts and I'm gonna give it to you. This is Sirach 20:6. Some man holdeth his tongue because he have not to answer, and some keepeth silence knowing his time. So you just have to discern the time and know when to bring stuff up. You don't want to say something that you will regret later, because people remember words. When they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt. That's a lie. Words do hurt. Words hurt, and people remember that. People remember what you say. Like, don't kick somebody while they're already down. It's Ecclesiastes 3:7. A time to rant and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. You got to know when's the right time to speak, when's the right time to keep silence. You got to know those things, especially because we're supposed to be solid and loving women. And we also say we were trying to be Proverbs 31 women. Well, a Proverbs 31 woman also moves in the fruits of the spirit. Proverbs 31 woman isn't walking around saying crazy stuff out the side of her mouth, always got something slick to say, quick to wrath, easily annoyed. Sirach 26:14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there's nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. So, I yield.
And going into that, just watching how you talk to people, I want to get Colossians 4:6, because look, you gotta know how to talk to people. That's a part of being a light, being in this truth, walking like Christ. Christ didn't talk to people just crazy. Even though he could have. He was a perfect man. He could have, but he didn't. And that's the humble and the meekness about him. And we're trying to be like Christ. We got to be humble and meek. You can't be humble and you snapping on people. You just always out the spirit, everybody just making you mad, you peed off all the time. No. So let me get Colossians 4 and 6, please. And then I'm going to get 2 precepts out of Proverbs after this. It reads, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. Seasoned with salt. You got to have salt on your food. Salt tastes good. It's good to the taste, the tongue. You want that to be that feeling when somebody is talking with you. You want to have peace and grace and all the fruits of the spirits when you are talking. So just like Sister said, you need to take a minute, just, hey, step out the room. Hey, look, I can't do this right now. I'm really feeling some type of way. I'll talk to you when I feel better, or, whatever you got to say. But you got to know how to answer every man. You got to know how to deal with people too. If you're talking to somebody else who also struggles with being angry, you got to know who you're dealing with. Yeah, look, I already see where this is going. I don't want you to go off, and I don't want myself to go off. So we can revisit this at another time when we both, in the spirit, whatever the case may be. But let me get Proverbs 14 and 29. If you can. If not, I can grab it. Just to let me back off of that, because there's so many precepts in the scriptures that talk about being slow to wrath. It's not for no reason. It reads, he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. So you quick to get mad, you quick to get out the spirit, you're exalting folly. You're exalting folly. You're not even in the spirit anymore. And if you're not in the spirit, you're in the flesh. That's just plain. It's plain. And you'll have great understanding if you're slow to wrath, because hey, like, this is not spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I'm always just quick to just jump out my body. I'm quick to snap on folks. I'm quick to turn up on somebody. You don't have great understanding. Because you would know, like, hey, the Most High, he can judge me for this. He can judge me. He's going to judge me for what I say, what my actions in the heat of the moment. I know this is a test, so I need to make sure I'm right. And then let me get Psalms 37 and 8. And it reads, cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. So you can't fret yourself in any wise to do evil. You don't want to be occupied in those works of the flesh that we just went over. You got to cease from anger. You got to put that stuff away from you. You say you want to be a new woman in this thing, you really got to focus on controlling your spirit. And I'm going to get Proverbs 25 and 28. Classic. Because if you don't have control of your spirit, you don't got control over nothing. You got to have control of your spirit. Proverbs 25 and 28. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. So folks can just anything. Folks, people, spirits running all up and down through you. You just there. You just let Satan use you. And we're in this true. We're supposed to let the Most High use us. We want to be those honorable, righteous vessels of the Most High. Those vessels that Yahweh Shem Yahushua can use to magnify him and his kingdom. But you snapping, you got the crash out spirit, you ain't the one to play with, you're not the one to look, you letting Satan use you. We just keeping it simple. But kind of you want to bring something out. Shalom.
Shalawam says, Lord and everybody's Sabbath has been well. Con, you said some mighty stuff through the spirit. I praise the Most High. Right. Don't be letting Satan just use you. This is Psalms 141 and 3. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. This is something beautiful to pray, especially if you struggle with saying stuff in the heat of the moment, or just saying crazy stuff, or being quick to wrath, quick to pop off. This is a mighty prayer you can pray. Set a watch before, ask the Most High to set a watch before your mouth and keeping the door of your lips. I want to get this. I'll put it in. Proverbs 31 and 26. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is a law of kindness. So, kind. We want to strive to open our mouth with wisdom and have kindness when we speak. Like again, you don't want to be known as a sister that always has something slick to say, that's snarky, that just can come across rude. Nobody wants to deal with that. I promise you. This is Proverbs 8:8. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. So we want to, it's also something good to pray. Ask the Most High to allow the words of your mouth to be righteousness, and that there's nothing forward or perverse in them. When you look up perverse, it means contrary to the accepted or expected standard or practice. So basically, contrary to the laws, contrary to what the Most High tells us how we should act. And then forward, difficult to deal with, self-willed, willful, headstrong. So, the words we speak, we just want to make sure that they're pleasing in the sight of the Lord, and that we're being considerate in how we talk to people. And, something that I thought about, we also would say that we strive to be Christ-like, like the sister brought out through the Spirit. Christ, he could have talked to people crazy. People always were saying something to him. You know what I'm saying? He could have definitely got up with them, but he didn't. He chose his words wisely, and he also sometimes held his peace, like it say in Matthew 26 and 27. So we just have to remember we try and be Christ like. Okay, will Christ pop off at the mouth? Will Christ say this crazy? Christ was meek. He was known for meek words, meek things. Like, he wasn't the type of guy walking around saying whatever came to mind, saying whatever he felt in the moment because, I can say whatever I want, who's going to check me? He wasn't the type to do that. He was so humble. He was the son of man. He was the son of the Most High. Yet he was so humble. He was considering how he talked to people. He's considering how it came across. He knew when to speak, when not to speak. And so we say with Christ, like, we have to move. We have to walk in his footsteps. This is Psalms 19:14. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be accepted in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. And I want to go to this right here. This is 1 Peter 2 and chapter 21. It's like 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps, who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth, who when he was reviled not again, when he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judges righteously. So, there was no guile found in his mouth. When he was reviled against, he didn't revile back. When he was suffered, he didn't threaten people. So it's like, we have to move in that same spirit, not try to get back or hurt people with our words, because sometimes Satan hop on you and you really trying to hurt somebody with your words. And we have to remember this right here, Matthew 12 and 36. But I say unto that every other word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. Every other word that we speak, we're going to have to answer for. So we don't want to say things out of emotion or during the heat of the moment, because again, you're going to regret those things. You're going to wish you didn't do that. So you.
I want to get a precept. It just made me think of this when you would bring it out. Super mighty. Matthew 5 and 39. It just reminds me of when in the world people was like, turn the other cheek, especially if you grew up in church. They'd be quick to pull that out, but you got to really apply it. So Matthew 5 and 39, but I say unto you, this is out of your house right now, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. So you got to be able to pick your battles, like Sis was saying, pick your battles. Be merciful unto your people. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you to let the Most High fight for you. The Most High said the vengeance is his. I see the sister in the comment. She said that somebody stole something from her, something expensive from her last week. And her father was the one that kept her from going off on the girl. She held her peace and was angry, but the Most High won. And all praise the Most High. Sometimes you got to just let the Most High fight for you. Let him fight for you, because he has to say at the end of the day, and vengeance is his. You can get that in Romans 12 and 19. Really quick. But all praise the Most High. Another sister said, your circle is important because they either enable or disable that spirit. And that's a fact. The like spirits, they cleave to one another. This is Romans 12:19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. So the Most High, He can give that back to you, sis. Most High willing, and maybe even more, tenfold. So I want to get Sirach 12:13. Just let me backing off what the sister said in the comments, because you gotta worry about who's around you, because that spirit can't hop on you. This is Sirach 12:13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? So nobody's gonna feel bad, that okay, it was this and this situation, but you going into situations knowing, because sometimes people, they get a kick off of this, and especially like those toxic situations or toxic relationships, they do something they know is gonna make somebody else mad, just so they can get mad and start arguing. You got some, I don't know what it is about our sisters. Well, it's obviously not all of us, but a lot of our sisters, they like to argue. They like to go back and forth. It's insane. They like to go back and forth with men, back and forth with women, anybody. Just arguing. They pop up, they say anything. I want you to say something. Please say something. But you can't be like that, and it's true. Because you gonna say something?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's why it's good to continually be with a godly man whom I know is to keep the commandments. Because this is Sirach 27, and I'm gonna get 11. The discourse of a godly man is always a wisdom, but a fool changes as the moon. If thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time, but be continually among men of understanding. And then I want to get another one, because you want to continue to be women of understanding, people that's gonna hold you accountable. Like the sister said, you either gonna be around people that enable you, that enable their spirit, disable it. Like, you want to be around some wise women that fear the Most High, that keep the commandments. Are gonna be like, sis, you can't be doing that. You can't be popping off like that. You can't say stuff like that. Right. Not people that's gonna be like kind of applauding you for that behavior. There's another one that said, be content with a godly man. I don't know where it is. But I had thought about something. Like I was saying, like what you just said made me think what I was saying earlier. Like there'd be some women, they like that toxic stuff. Like it's some relationships that toxic people, them demons really, they like that. Oh, did you spray him? Call your kennel. There be some, they like that. Oh, I'm gonna slash your tire. Don't mess with me. They like that toxic stuff. And there's there is somebody out said once, oh, I just like to see you mad. And it's like people actually like do stuff like that. Like they actually say stuff to actually try to like piss you off. And that's why you gotta discern and know when it's Satan. Yeah. Don't let Satan use you. And it's like spirits, they know who to try. Mm-hmm. And some spirits hop on people and they know who to try. So it's like, especially if you're trying to work on that spirit.
It's 37 and 12.
That's crazy. I was just in 37. Okay, kind of praise. Thank you. Mm-hmm. But be contented with a godly man whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will serve thee, thou shalt miscarry. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So, fail to attain an intended or unexpected outcome. Fall flat, go wrong. So you want to be around somebody that when you go off, they're gonna be like, dang man, you just got to do better. You don't want to be around somebody that's just gonna kind of applaud you and be like, I mean, it is what it is. No, it's not. It is what it is. We're supposed to be striving to be blameless as possible, striving to spirit, strive to be in the spirit as much as possible. You don't want to be around somebody that's just gonna kind of make it seem like your sin is normal, your wickedness is normal when it's not. Mm-hmm. I understand we're in his flesh. But you got to remember, Yahweh Shai, he was tempted with everything we're tempted with, yet did not sin. This Hebrews 4:15. For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. No, we not Christ, but we striving to be like him. You don't have no excuse. You don't have no excuse as to why you keep popping off at the mouth. You got to control your flesh, control your spirit, and stop letting that spirit rule you. And so I'm going to read this precept real quick. I only got a few more before we get to the articles, because I'm telling y'all, these articles is fire. through the spirit. And it makes you really think. But this is Luke 6:31. As you would that men should do you also to them likewise. But also, before I go into this, I want to say, if you're around somebody that's always making you mad, it's probably best you cut ties with them. Like
Yeah.
if they like are always doing something and you can kind of perceive that they doing it to bother you, get on your skin, don't be around somebody like that. Again, be continually with a godly man. But
Mhm.
you want to treat people how you want to be treated. You want to treat people how you want to be treated. Nobody wants to deal with somebody who always got some slick to say, short temper. And no man wants to deal with that. No man wants to deal with a woman that's constantly disrespecting him, always being disrespectful, cussing him out, calling him a nigga, don't respect him. You got to treat people how you want to be treated. And we have to remember that our husbands, they're our lords. They are our lords. So it's like you got to ask yourself, would you talk to Christ like that? This is Ephesians 5:22. Wives, submit yourself to your own husbands unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he's the savior of the body. Husband, love your wives, even as Christ also the church loved and gave himself for it. And then I think that was everything. There's one that say, never mind. But I'm also get First Peter 3:1. This is First Peter 3:1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection unto your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives. So I'm gonna skip down to verse 5. I'm just like it. Yeah. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in God adorned themselves, being in subjection to their own husbands, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well and are not afraid with any amazement. So a lord is someone or something having power, authority, influence, a master or ruler. So your Lord has so much power and influence over your life. He is your Lord. You are to submit unto him in everything, in righteousness. Submit unto him in righteousness. As long as that man is not telling you to sin, trying to lead you into sin, you do what he say respectfully, because our desire is unto them. And so
Mhm.
you got to remember, there was who was that woman that washed Christ's feet or that rubbed oil on him?
Mary.
So it's like that's how Mary treated Yahushua. That's how we should treat our husbands, our lords. This is Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, and sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Our husbands are our rulers. They have so much, like, they are over our lives. You know, in the earthly figure. Of course, everything is through the most, we submit to the most high, of course, all of that. We don't put our husband before the most high, but they are our lords. So we just have to remember that who we dealing with. These are not just some random Negroes. You can't treat your husband like just a random nigga. I'm just being real. You
Right.
can't talk to your husband like, you can't talk and treat your husband in any type of way, because you wouldn't do that to Christ. And
Mhm.
you got to remember that your obedience or disobedience unto your husband is going to be how you can is going to be whether you make the kingdom or not, because everything we do wholeheartedly unto the Lord. And so you got to remember, how when you disrespect your husband, when you say something rude, when you are calling him out of his name, when you're being disobedient to the rules that he's telling you, you are doing that unto the most high. You got to remember, a part of, if you're a wife, your duty unto your husband is your duty unto the most high. So when you're disrespecting your husband, you are disrespecting the most high. When you're being disobedient to your husband, you're being disobedient to the most high, because God commanded you to submit. The most high commanded you to stay in the spirit. He commanded you to control your spirit. He commanded you to not be quick to wrath. And here you are breaking these commandments, and you think that it's just, I don't want to deal with that nigga. He don't give me no reason to respect him. It doesn't matter. Submission is not conditional. Treating your husband right and being respectful is not conditional. It's not based on anything that man does. It's because the Most High told you to. And so I say all that to say, we'll be judged according to how we treat our husbands. So if you wouldn't treat Christ that way, don't talk to your husband that way. Because a man wants respect more than anything. And a man is gonna get fed up with a woman that's always got some slick and snarky and say, don't no man want that. We're supposed to be pillars of rest. And if you ain't giving me rest, believe me, they're gonna find it somewhere else. I'm being like, I'm for real. This is Sirach 36:24. He that getteth the wife begetteth possession and help like unto himself and a pillar of rest. That's what a man wants. You ain't giving that man rest. If you always got something to say, You all yapping at the mouth. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. You're like a fly that they'll just get like a fly. Like an annoying fly. This is Sirach 26 and let's see. I think it might be in. Hold on. Maybe it's in 25. It's about. Let me see. Yes. Sirach 25 and 20. As the climbing up a sand ways to the feet of the age, so is a quiet wife full of words to a quiet. So is a wife full of words to a quiet man. So basically, this is saying old people trying to climb up a hill full of sand is hard. It's like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. So it's like a wife full of words that always got something to say, like a nag, a fly that don't get out the way to a quiet man. It's like, oh my goodness, Bird, this lady don't ever shut up. She don't ever stop. So don't be like that. Again, it's a battle. Like that spirit of anger, any spirit that we're struggling with is a battle. However, don't let your flesh rule you. Rule your flesh, because at the end of the day, we have to be cleansed from things. We have to be cleansed from these things. We have to examine, because we don't want to miss out on the kingdom of heaven because of this. So I'm gonna yield.
I'm gonna get Job 5 and 2. Mighty points you bringing out. Mighty points through the spirit. Just going into just a slight turn, but that wrath, that anger, if you don't have it under control and Satan knows that he can use you for that, hey, he can amp it up and it can get worse and worse and worse. And like Sister was saying earlier, you meet your match, meet the wrong one. You kind of got road rage. You cussing folks out. You riding up next to folk, putting the window down, and you ride up to them, talking about some, put your window down. Put your window down. You flipping folks off. You cussing them out like a dog. You gonna meet the right one, and somebody gonna have, Lord forbid, but it happens. It reminds me of that one movie. What's that one movie? You know the movie I'm talking about. All about
I think it's the Unhinged movie.
Unhinged, yes.
And that's how you act when you don't got no control of your wrath. You acting unhinged.
You're unhinged. So, I want to read it. 5 and 2. For wrath killeth the foolish man, and envy slayeth the silly one. So, look, let that wrath demon take control of you if you want to. And once I take you out this thing, I'm going to get Job 19 and 29. Because we will be judged for our behavior. Believe it or not, we will be judged for everything we say and do.
What precept you wanted?
Job 19 and 29. It reads, be afraid of the sword, for wrath bringeth the punishments of the sword, that ye may know there is a judgment. So we got to be afraid of the Most High. When it comes to our speech and our actions, we got to be afraid. You got to pray for that fear of the Most High. Because if you truly fear the Most High, look, you're not going to be saying anything. You're not going to be just doing anything. Because you know it's a judgment to come. And let me get Ecclesiastes. I think I want 12 and 14. Yeah, 12 and 14, please.
What was that book, Salakia?
What book? Oh, Ecclesiastes. He's open. Oh, sister has a question to comment after I bring this out. You can bring it out if you want to. We can bring it out now. Because you're right here. May I ask something? What if your husband isn't always operating in the spirit? Sometimes our husbands go through things with being oppressed in this world and having to go out in the world to work, and they're angry at times. How can we handle situations like this better? I want to win. Struggle with this sometimes. It's a battle. I want to truly become better in this area. Any advice for the times our husbands are operating in the spirit? Well, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think we also have a video on our on one of our sister chats we did, kind of going deeper into it about like how to be a wife and things like that. So those are good videos to check out, and I think we've also done Q&As to check out as well. Yeah, I think it was we did a Q&A in that wife video, and I think somebody asked something similar. But you said it's a battle, but I treat any advice for times our husband aren't operating in spirit. So I mean, if your husband isn't like again, like being submissive and respecting and honoring your husband, that's not based on anything he does. It's based on you have to do it regardless, though, because that's what the Most High told you to do and commanded you to do. So you still be a wife. You still do what you're commanded. You still show up regardless of anything that he's doing because that's your duty unto the Most High. So my piece of advice is to just do what you've been doing. Pray for him. Speak life unto him. Don't kick a man when he's already down. And just be that light because, like we pulled out in First Peter earlier, a man may be won by the conversation of the wives. When you go to the definition of conversation, like in the blue letter, it means behavior. And so basically, you can win your husband over by your holy behavior. So you continue to strive to stay in the spirit and be that tower against death, be that pillar rest, be that woman he can lean on. And Lord willing, by you being that light, you know, that can provoke him like, dang, I need to do better because my wife, she's still moving in the spirit. She's being here for me. You know, that could provoke him unto good work. So this is Sirach 25 and 23. A wicked woman obeyeth the courage, maketh a heavy countenance and wounded heart. A woman that would not comfort her husband in distress, maketh weak hands and feeble knees. So you want to be that woman that can comfort your husband in the times of distress when he's going through hard times. And again, not kick a man while he's already down. It's so easy to find flaws in our husbands because we do them all the time. Like it's so easy to find flaws in our husband. We all have our own flaws. So don't make your husband feel bad or make him feel any less than a man because he's dealing with things, especially because he is the most hated man in America. He got a lot of weight on his shoulders. There's a lot of men deal with. Not saying that us women don't, but I will always say there's a lot of things that a man deal with and a lot of things they don't talk about because they have to be strong and the leaders and the provider. So don't make your husband feel less than a man or don't be evil unto him because he's battling with things because we all battle with things and you wouldn't want nobody to treat you crazy or mistreat you when you were going through it. So instead, uplift that man, speak life into him, pray for him, pray over him, ask him, do he want to read, if he want to fast, if he don't, just continue to pray for him. If it's a situation like he's saying crazy stuff or y'all arguing, breathe and walk away, pray about it and maybe talk about it at another time when y'all are both in the spirit. But if it seems like you can't ever get through to him, then stop bringing it up, stop bringing up the situation, just give it to the Most High. Sometimes we look for answers in all the wrong places. We constantly looking to our husband for answers. We constantly want him to give us an answer, fix the situation, when the Most High is the only one that's going to fix it. The Most High is the only one that can change his heart. The Most High is the only one that can fix the situation. So sometimes we give too much energy into our husbands and we're not giving enough energy to the Most High. Like, pray about it. Keep praying about it. Sirach 26 and 22. Our harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. And I pulled out Sirach 36 and I was talking about pillar of rest. This is a pillar right here. This is a pillar right here. A pillar is this. It keeps if these large buildings that have pillars, the building will fall. The building depends on this pillar to uphold. We are that to our husbands. Our husbands depend on us, whether they said or not. Most High create us to be for them. We are an help me. We're supposed to be a tower for our husbands, a pillar, somebody they can lean on. So just continue to be the good woman that you have been, and just continue to submit and respect him no matter what he's going through. Pray for him. And again, if it's a situation where y'all are arguing or it's a heated moment, y'all having a disagreement, just come back to it later when y'all in the spirit. And just remember that ultimately we're going to be judged and answer for everything we do and say. So remember that and work out your own salvation. But that's all I have to say.
Since I hit it right on now. Yeah, it's no use in both of y'all to. Oh my God. It's no use in both of y'all, getting out the spirit, going at it back and forth, whatever the case may be. But it says a prudent man foreseeth the evil. So you got to be. Again, that's tower against death for your husband. You got to be making sure that, hey, look, I know sometimes, he done told me or texted me that he had a bad day at work. And you gotta foresee that evil. Be like, okay, he might come home, he might have an attitude. He might not want to talk when he gets home. He might just want to be on the game or the phone, whatever the case may be. And you just do your due diligence and pray for him. Hey, do you need anything? Don't feed into what Satan wants is for y'all be going back and forth and causing turmoil in y'all's home when it's not even, you can avoid all that. You can avoid all that. But kind of mighty points from the sister. She really hit it on nail.
Yeah, of course it is tough. This is a spirit versus flesh. It was never made to be easy. It's never meant to be easy. But again, we have to remember our power through the Most High, and that we can do anything to not let these spirits continue to rule us. So, our praise to the Most High. You have examined that, and Lord, we look to be better. We all have things we struggle with. I definitely struggle with. My husband's sitting right here. If I showed the camera, he can attest you. Yeah, she has some crazy crash out times. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, I'm being dead serious. Like, I'm not gonna act like I didn't always have it together. I struggle with the anger spirit bad. He will tell you right now. They tell him right now. I'm not like for real. Like, so when I tell you like it's a battle, it definitely is. But you can overcome it with a lot of prayer and fasting. Because when I realized, okay, like this is crazy. I can't be acting like this. I don't want to lose my marriage to this. I don't want to lose my husband to this, and I don't want to miss out on the kingdom for this. So I fasted. I was looking at precepts, and I was just sad because I was like, you don't want to deal with me. So it's like, it's definitely it's a battle, but it can be overcome. We just have to really. I think this walk is a mental game more than anything. Like, it's definitely a mental battle. Really locking in and understanding, like, I can do anything through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. Like, I can overcome the spirit. And so that's where you got to kind of tap in through the spirit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stop letting Satan rule you and rule Satan. Rule that flesh. This is Luke 10 and 19. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by enemies hurt you. Now, notwithstanding in this, rejoice not that the spirit is subject unto you, but rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven. So, we have power to tread upon these spirits. Just like you can, Most High, Jehovah said, just like we have power to tread on serpents and scorpions, spiritual serpents and scorpions, like we have power to tread upon them. You can actually go step on a bug, just like we can step on these spirits. And so we just have to remember that. This is 2 Timothy 1 and 7. For Yahweh have not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. We have power to overcome these spirits, power to control your mouth, power to control your spirit. You can do it. Don't say you can't do it. Sometimes you got to stop saying, oh, it's just so hard. You're making it harder than it has to be. Like, we have to be mentally strong and understand that real. And understand that we can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth us. So really lock in and understand that you can stop letting Satan use you like a puppet master. Just letting Satan use you. So really just understanding our strength comes from the Lord. Our strength is in the Lord. And with the Lord, we can overcome these spirits that are coming our way. First of all, the Lord sent you that spirit. You don't think he know that you can't overcome it?
Talk about it.
This is Colossians 3 and 8. But now you also put up all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. It's also something good to pray. Lord, can you please help me to be removed from anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication? All of these scriptures in here, Bible got so many verses we can add to our daily lives to pray for. So this is 1 Peter 2 and 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babes, as daughters, sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. So, if so be you have tasted that the Lord is gracious. We've tasted that the Lord is gracious. He's brought us to this truth. He's had so many blessings for us. He's done so many magnificent works in our lives. We've seen his mercy and his graciousness. So we got to lay aside that old woman. Be new, be renewed, and not constantly continue to give into the old ways and the old spirits. And so this is 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Examine yourselves whether it be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know you not your own selves. How that Yahweh Shah is in you, except you be reprobate. So, once you realize that you're struggling with it, examine yourself, and just see how you can do better. Sometimes we got to look ourselves in the mirror, be real with ourselves, and really nip that spirit in the bud, because you really don't want to miss out on the kingdom of heaven, because it is like the sister brought out in Galatians. That's a spirit, that's a fruit of the flesh, and we're just gonna read what the Bible say. Okay. I'm gonna get to this part. That they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. You can't inherit the kingdom always popping off, being wrathful, saying whatever come to mind. You can't. So, Khan, did you have any more precepts?
Khan, I didn't get to bring out the Ecclesiastes 12 and 14. I just want to bring that out, and that's my last one. But Khan, just like the sister was saying, we got to pray for these things. If you really want to get rid of any spirit, you got to pray it off and fast it off. Self-examine. Look, I noticed that I'm snapping on folks. I'm easily out the spirit. I'm easily, triggered by all these things. Maybe you got to do a deep dive. Maybe you got to go sit down, journal out some feelings, do something. But, we can't let this spirit interfere with our salvation at the end of the day. This is Ecclesiastes 12:14. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So this is something we got to meditate on, because every single work, every single word, everything is going to be put into judgment. And we don't want to be so in our flesh, so prideful, so whatever the case may be, that we're not willing to get rid of this anger demon, the crash out spirit. Lord willing, this was edifying.
I'll press my side. So I've got a few videos I want to show y'all, then read some articles, and I'll be done, Lord willing. And also, I'm gonna get this real quick, because again, y'all, it's really a mindset. Like, you really gotta believe we can overcome. Stop letting Satan tell you you'll never get over it, and it's just so hard. It takes work. Anything in life is hard. Choose your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Choose your heart. It's just simple. It's real simple. Choose your heart. Working out is hard, but being overweight is hard. It's a lot of things that's hard. You just got to choose how willing are you going to go to work on it and to get better at it. Are you willing to fast? Are you willing to pray? Are you willing to subject yourself into the Most High to overcome that demon? Howbeit this kind goeth not out by prayer and fasting. So, I'm gonna show you these videos and then read this article, and then so I'm gonna read. This is ridiculous. I hope don't copyright me with this trash little dirt, this G Herbo song. Fair use for educational purposes only. I'm trying to cut the brightness down so y'all can really see it. Oh, can y'all see? Dang, hold on.
We can kind of see it. Get the gist.
I'm gonna just cut the music off. Oh, hold on. I think I was. Okay. Let me see if I turn all the way down, if it's better. Okay. Yeah, you get the gist. Right, bruh. Yeah, she snatched TV off the wall.
Bruh.
She became Hulk. And she going to jail. She ain't in jail already.
Okay.
They calling people on her.
For sure.
I'm saying, like, bro, that's not cute. You gonna risk your life. It's like, and I'm telling y'all, like, that's. I watch a lot of news, and I watch a lot of like crime stuff about murders that happen, and 9 times out of 10, murders happen because people snap.
Yeah.
That anger spirit is so scary, because you don't want to snap. And that's also why I got myself together, because I was like, I don't want to ever snap to do something that I actually can't take back. Like, that is like the worst nightmare ever. Like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. And I have a daughter. Like, I don't want her to see me popping off and she think that's normal or that's okay to do, because kids are sponges. They soak up everything. Mm-hmm. And she might not repeat it now, but I don't want to instill it in her that she's repeating it and when she gets older. And so it's like, especially if you have kids, you got to nip these spirits in the bud because they see everything. And they will take it with them. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says, as the mother is, so is the daughter in Ezekiel 16:44, because your daughter's looking up to you, your kids looking up to you. They're going to follow your footsteps and they're going to follow your example that you're setting them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and this is another one. I'm going to have to show. This is her and her mom. Yo, this is madness. It says POV, your mom is a certified crash out. That's her mom. So how you think she gonna act? And she grown. So you know how people say, I get that from my mom, I get that from my daddy. They be so serious.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. I heard a little kid said, I can't hear my phone. Can you please be quiet?
Bruh.
Hey, I ain't trying to hear that BS.
Okay. Yeah.
I think her laugh is making me laugh, bro. Like she is cracking up, but it's not cool, bro. Like she's a lunatic acting like that. She's acting unhinged.
And if you notice, it's always our people. It's always our people,
bro. You'll never see Esau acting like that, bro.
Okay. It just makes me think like
she said, I'm tired of being nice. But see, we can't get tired of being nice for real, because Christ, look, he endured through all of that. He didn't. She mad because somebody like cut her off on the road or something. Christ wouldn't have acted like that. Don't let road rage is a real thing. That's why I honked at somebody before, and it wasn't like a nerd. But my husband's like, don't do that. And I don't honk at people because people be crazy nowadays. Like, I don't want to lose my life because you chase me down the road trying to shoot me because I hung at you. You know what? You cut me off. That's fine. I don't care about it. I don't care about it because people is crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta control yourself because you don't want to piss the wrong person off. And now you on the news somewhere. You gotta use wisdom, especially you got kids in the family. Like my daughter be in the car with me 9 times out of 10. I'm not doing nothing crazy. Like you can have it. You can have it.
Okay.
I'm not talking to nobody crazy at the store. Cause you're not finna try to run up on me with my child. You're not. No. So you got to think about your children too. If you got children, just think about your own safety. Like people out here crazy. You out here talking to somebody crazy. Okay. People crazy. All right now. It's the last one. Hold on. Hold on. Cut the music off. She chasing her man out the house with a fishnet. I don't even know, but she trying to get him. What POV? Your neighbor be tearing that man every way but loose. But like this can't be normal, y'all. Like I haven't seen no white people do this trend. No Asian people. No Indian people.
We're laughing stock, man.
We are.
This is why they don't take us serious. They be like, and that's why, you know, when you come into this thing, you might have some people like, man, this is God's chosen people. I mean, we're really just stricken with madness.
For real. I was telling my Salakia. No, I was telling my head the other. Oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm telling you, our tempers can land us in jail. I'm telling you. Control yourself. You don't want to pop off or end up in jail because you can control yourself. And the Most High will make that happen because he's judging you. You don't want to control yourself. Okay, here's judgment. You're going to jail.
Yeah. Just like Job 5:2. Wrath killeth the silly one.
Yeah, it could get you killed. It could really like that's and like even with the murders we see in our people amongst our community, it happened because somebody was mad. Or somebody said the wrong thing to somebody. You just gotta really be mindful of who you talking to, who you dealing with, cause it be tripping. It be demons out here for real. And I was just telling my husband the other day, I was just like, bruh, like we're supposed to be holy and set apart. But when I look at the state of our people, and if I feel like this, I know the Most High feel like this times 10. When I look at the state of our people, ain't nothing holy about us. There's nothing holy about us. There's nothing set apart about us. Like, we are really destroyed. We're really down bad. We need a savior bad. Like, we hate each other so bad. We're destroyed, like, bad. And I hate that this is how we like we just down bad. We're supposed to be his holy set apart people, and we look how we act. Like, look how we act. So I'm gonna read this article real quick, and I just pray we get it together before it's too late. Cause I'm telling you.
That's why the scriptures say don't conform to this world, because the world, they want to make it a trend. Oh, I'm a certified crash out. Don't mess with me. I ain't the one. No, that's Satan. That's Satan trying to deceive you.
Exactly. Again, ain't nothing cute about that. I'm a certified crash out. And that's what people was posting. People posting on TikTok talking I'm a certified. Oh, you certified. You a certified stepper, huh? Okay. You're going to be getting certified judge in that day. You keep on playing with the Lord.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Y'all think this stuff cute and funny. Okay, you're going to F around and find out what the Most High. The Most High is going to get up with you.
Crash out of
this article, I'm going to read this. So, did you have something to say?
Shalawam says, I was going to say, you want to crash out all you want to, but then when the Most High send them crash out spirits,
okay,
to get up with you, you're going to be looking crazy.
Exactly. Because you got to remember, hold on, let me read this precept. Shalawam says, you got to remember this. This Iraq 26 and what's that precept that say their spirits created for vengeance?
It's Sirach 38, I think. Earlier. 39.
The water. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Yep. The Most High is sending death angels. He sends spirits out. So you keep on playing around and you thinking that this behavior is cute, and the Most High will send an angel to judge you. He ain't gonna feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So it's like we gotta nip these spirits in the bud, especially the anger spirit. I'm telling you, you don't want to be, it's just me. I got anger issues. If you know that you have that spirit, you struggle with the spirit of anger, then you need to work on it. Not just walking around telling people, oh, you don't want to F with me. I'm not fully renewed yet. I will pop off. Like, that is not cute. You don't get no brownie points. I'm sorry. I'm gonna look at you like, really, sis? That's how you feel? That's how you moving? You walking around saying, like, no. Like, if you struggle with that, let's pray and fast on it. Instead of walking around talking about, don't piss me off, I'll take it there. You're going to take it there. And the Lord going to take it there too. Because you think it's a game.
Please.
You think it's a game.
Okay.
So I want to read this real quick. Anger is an emotion that nearly everyone will experience many times throughout their life. In fact, anger is a necessary emotion to feel because it acts as a form of protection from a possible threat. So again, anger is normal, like that emotion. It's a regular emotion. It's about, again. Do y'all see this?
Yep.
Anger. It tells you that something is bothering you. So you have to discern if this is actually something legit to be upset about, or am I just being petty? However, if you find yourself developing tell signs of rage, frequently you might have a short temper. Maybe you're frustrated at a server who got your order wrong. Petty. Nothing to be mad about. Or at the car in front of you that is not moving quick enough. Or perhaps even losing at your favorite sports team for blowing a lead. This may be pointing to something a little different and more severe. So if you're getting quickly irritated, basically what it's saying, if you're getting quickly irritated about small stuff, you got short temper, that's a spirit. That's a spirit. So when we feel anger, it is a symptom of a deeper, painful emotion. We may feel hurt, sad, or fearful about something happening in our relationships or in our environment. Anger can feel like a knee-jerk reaction or can build up and boil over as we stew over life's many offenses. We may not even realize what is underneath our anger until we slow down and think about what we are really feeling and why. So again, when you're upset, take a moment to actually try to examine and pray. Lord, this is bothering me. Ask the Most High for some clarity. Like, is this something to actually be upset about, or is this petty? And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna know if it's petty. But can you please entertain her? And if it's something that is actually something worth talking about with somebody that's causing offense, pray about it and wait for the right timing. But if it's something that's just so silly, rebuke it. Get out your mind. Some stuff Satan will use. Some stuff is petty that Satan will use to try to get you to go off. So how we react when we are angry is another important part of what makes our lives healthy, stable, and successful. There are many effective ways in which you can express your anger. For example, assertive communication, establishing boundaries, taking a personal time out, squeezing nearby objects, and even crying can be a healthy way of expressing your frustration. Like sister was saying, journal. That helps. It helps me. However, we tend to have less emotional control when we are tired, hungry, sick, or stressed.
Which can be a lot of us, if you're mothers or wives. And then it's even just as women, period. We're the weaker vessel. We're emotional. We're more emotional after work. So we're more susceptible to this spirit. Even with your children, might get easily irritated with children. They're not listening. I'm guilty. I get irritated. Why are you not listening? How many times do I gotta say it? And say it hot. Just like I said right there. Look, Satan will use any and everybody to get you out the spirit. But you gotta foresee the evil. You gotta control your spirit.
I'm finna get into that right there because that is so true. When you're angry, you don't think right. When you're speaking somebody points out praises. And we also, speaking of getting quick with wrath with the children, we also gotta remember this, bro. They're kids,
right?
They exploring. What you want them to do? Be still. They don't. Y'all see how Brielle acting? I asked my husband. I said, I'm looking at him. He said, "Brielle just being Brielle," and that's true. Like this is what she do. Like she's only one. She just got here. She don't really know. Oh, I'm disrupting mommy's life. So I'm not gonna keep getting mad at her. You know what I'm saying? Like they're kids, they exploring. This is what they do. And you don't want to be so annoyed with your kid always snapping at them because they're gonna remember that. Right. And again, they're gonna take that with them. So don't be so quick to wrath with your kids. Like that's not cute. This is Psalms 113:9. He maketh the barren woman to keep house and to be a joyful mother of children. Praise your Lord. Be joyful when you're dealing with your kids. Of course, I've been guilty of getting annoyed with Brielle. Trust me. We are all any mother has. Let's keep it a book. You got kids. You've been guilty of getting annoyed with your kids. It's kind of happens. It's innate. It's normal. I mean, but don't make it like a kind of a normal thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be so quick to wrath with your children. So ask yourself: do you have control of your emotions, or do your emotions control you? Okay. Do you communicate in effective ways, or do you blow a fuse? When a short temper is on display, anger is usually manifested in an almost primal state, such as shouting, obscenities, violence, breaking things, intimidating others. When this occurs, this person might become easily irritated, offended, and defensive, experience racing thoughts, or just see red. Now, if you see red, you're crazy.
That's that wrath spirit. That's that wrath.
I'm playing. Notice their face becoming hot and reddened. Feel their vision go blurry. Perceive a vein pulsating in their neck or temple. Bro, if you that mad, you got a vein popping out. That's a demon. That's a demon. Feel their fists and jaw clench up. Unleash their anger verbally or physically. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why you got to work in that anger spirit, because you don't want to pop off and you beat somebody up.
Yeah.
It is the fight part of the flight or flight reaction. A short temper is usually witnessed with very little to no warning. It is an explosion of emotion without any filter or forethought. Sometimes this primal emotion can cause embarrassment for the person who inappropriately unleashed their anger, causing harm to themselves or others or their surroundings. Yes, it's embarrassing. Acting like a nut job. Like, that's embarrassing. Right. And then when you come sit down, like, you ain't just do nothing. You haven't.
Right. Folks get tired of it. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
They're supposed to be having to go to anger management class. That's embarrassing, bro. You ain't got that much control of your spirit. You gotta go and because the course they'll sign you up for it. You have to take anger management classes. But our anger management is supposed to be the Bible, the scriptures, the Most High. He's given us the precepts to control our anger, to manage our anger.
Hold on. We probably gonna stop right there on that article because this ain't the right one. Because I'm like, bruh, I got this one article that's so pressure. I'm like, hold on, this ain't it. Hold on, because I have
What?
found two.
Come on, why you find them reason in the comments? The sister said working out helps. Um, relieve stress. And of course, thinking the word daily. Come. Shalawam, everybody. Yeah. Being a
I'm
kid
like,
with the
the
little.
article I was reading, uh it had hold on, let me read it. Uh,
Well, when you find it.
yeah, I thought I sent it to myself. I sent this one to myself, but um yeah, it was two articles that found it. Okay. I did send it to myself. All praises. Okay. Because I remembered what it was talking about. I'm like, this ain't what it was talking about. This is a good one too. Y'all can read that in your own time. It's what to do if you have a short temper. Most I haven't read that for a reason though. But this is the one I actually want to get. Like this one was the one I actually wanted to get right here. What happens in your brain when you're angry? This is a good one. This is a good one. Okay, this is a real good one. All right. Okay. So, your heart's pounding, your muscles are tense, your face pepper. What's wrong with you? Your face feels like it's on fire. In other words, you're angry. We all know what anger feels like in our bodies, but what's really going on in our head when it feels like we're about 2 seconds from flipping the table? Whether it's one of those minor daily annoyances or something much bigger, a lot is happening in your brain when you get angry. When you're angry, your fight or flight response is activated and your heart starts to beat faster. Simultaneously, the part of your brain responsible for rational thinking, the prefrontal cortex becomes less active. So when you're getting upset, the rational part of your brain, it starts to go out the window. That's why when people are mad, they do irrational, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why when you're mad, first of all, I will say this all the time. You don't just get mad. You feel yourself starting to get mad. You feel your blood pressure rise. You feel your blood boiling literally. That's why popping off is a choice. It's a choice. You have the choice to walk away. You're just not choosing. You're letting your flesh rule over you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a spiritual battle, but you can't keep letting Satan rule over you. You have to remember that through the Spirit of the Lord, you can overcome anything with the Most High. Fight that demon and stop letting that spirit rule you like a puppet. You just being ruled. So when you feel yourself getting angry, that's the perfect time to walk away, because I promise you, that rational thing gonna go out the window. You're gonna do something you regret. You're gonna say something you regret. So you don't just get angry. You feel yourself getting angry. When you feel yourself getting upset, walk away and take a moment. Take a personal time out. Basically, your body's built-in alarm system comes online when you're angry. And while this response can be helpful, specifically during times of conflict, danger, or distress, sometimes flight or fight can do more harm than good. After all, these responses that once helped your ancestors survive don't exactly come in handy when you're answering a passive aggressive email or stuck in traffic. Knowing how to deal with your anger is key, and lucky for you, you can learn how to manage your emotions with these therapist approved tips below. Ahead, you'll find real. Seriously. So like it, y'all. This girl didn't knock me off my track. Ahead, you'll find everything you need to know about what happens to your brain when you're angry and how to build anger resilience. So this entire lesson, we've already gave y'all precepts and all of that. So now I kind of want to just provoke us a thought. If you've ever gone from a completely chill to boiling over with rage in what feels like mere seconds, you've probably wondered how such dramatic shifts in mood happen. The answer lies in your brain's built-in alarm system. It's the good old flight or fight response at work. Your brain senses a threat and then prepares your body to either stay and deal with it or find some way to escape. Anger is a very old and fundamental emotion. During such episodes, the emotional system becomes more active while the prefrontal cortex, the thinking brain, gets suppressed. This can lead to irrational or regrettable behavior, intense outbursts of violence at worst. So to kind of think of it like a meter. When you start to get mad, this is your emotional brain. This is the emotional side of your brain. And then this is the thinking brain, the logical side. The logic is going here, emotion is going here. Logic, emotion, logic, emotion. Like it's literally your spirit and flesh warring. That's why I said at the beginning of the lesson, the Most High, He did all this. He created us. He created all these parts of our brain. He did all this so meticulous. Yes, took my word. Meticulous. He did all these things so specific. He created all this, so it's good to know how your brain. It's good to know all this stuff because the Most High did it. So I just thought it was so amazing. Like, wow, I never knew that. Like when I read this about a month ago, I never knew that when you're mad, your emotional side of your brain becomes more active, and then the logical thinking side of your brain gets suppressed. So that's why. Again, when people are mad, they could do crazy stuff. You looking at them like, oh my gosh, that's a demon, because their logical side went out the window. But there's a way that you can bring that logic side back, and we're gonna read about it. I don't know how to pronounce this. I think it's the amygdala.
Amygdala, I think.
Thank you. Okay, period. All right, amygdala is a tiny almond-shaped brain structure associated with emotions, memory, and learning. It plays a fundamental role in emotional reactions, including anger and fear. It's an alarm alerting you to danger, but it sometimes has a bit of a hair trigger. It has a tendency to overreact to things that are actually completely harmless. When something triggers feelings of anger, whether it's a minor irritation or a legit threat, the amygdala hits the panic button, which signals another part of the brain called the hypothalamus. Thalamus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But y'all can tell this girls in school. The hypothalamus is a structure found deep within the brain that plays a part in maintaining homeostasis. Say that right? And influencing the body's automatic nervous system. The ANS is the part of your nervous system responsible for controlling unconscious processes like respiration, heart rate, blood pressure, and digestion. It also makes up part of the body's, bro, these big old words, bro.
Hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis.
Okay, yeah. Two is better than one. Thank you, for instance, because I was going to butcher that. It regulates how you respond and deal with stress. When the hypothalamus activates the ANS, it triggers a series of reactions in your body. Your heart rate picks up, and you start to breathe faster or more shallowly. Mm-hmm. So basically, when you're starting to get upset, your heart starts to race. You start to breathe faster. Basically, your blood starts to boil. And I think it talks about that in a little down. Your blood starts to kind of boil while the amygdala. Thank you. Amygdala and hypothalamus are all about sounding the alarm, preparing your body to deal with a threat. Another region of the brain called the prefrontal cortex is there to evaluate the situation and dial down the emotions if necessary. So basically, the emotional part of our brain, it tends to overreact certain stuff. Like we just have a fight or flight response just activated within us. And in certain situations, that response is necessary, like in a very life or death situation. But the brain doesn't know that. So that's why you got to fight that flesh. and your brain is sometimes it overreacts to certain things. And so that's why you got to, fight that flesh and kind of suppress that emotional side and kind of get that logic side back up. So you don't do something that you're going to regret that's not logical, that's off in the eyes of the Lord. The prefrontal cortex is in the area of the brain right behind your forehead. So I was talking in my head about this because when I found this article, I read it to him because I was so amazed. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's where people get that freaking third eye stuff from. Because it's literally right behind your forehead.
Yeah.
It's responsible for things like judgment, reasoning, and self-regulation. The prefrontal cortex is among the most recent evolutionary additions to our brain. It's the part of our brain that works to control impulses, plan ahead, consider consequences, as well as come up with solutions. It helps you evaluate situations, control your behavior, and manage your feelings. You can think of it as the level-headed, realistic part of your brain that tries to talk you down from doing things you might later regret. The prefrontal cortex allows us to think and plan before acting, while increasing levels of anger. The prefrontal cortex is increasingly shut down as the evolutionary older emotional brain takes control. So when you're getting upset, the logical side of your brain, the prefrontal cortex that's responsible for controlling your behavior, managing your feelings, and evaluating situations, it's starting to go like this. And then the emotional side of your brain that's telling you to do something crazy. And so it's literally a spirit versus flesh. That's why when people start to get mad, it's so hard to control their emotions. Like, it's so hard to control your mouth, but you can do it. You can do it. When you get angry, the amygdala and prefrontal cortex are in conflict. Your amygdala is screaming that there's a threat and you need to respond right now, while the prefrontal cortex urges you to calm down and think things through. The problem is that the amygdala has a bit of a head start. The limbic system, of which the amygdala is a part of, takes control to assure survival, and in the absence of the prefrontal cortex, some inappropriate responses may occur. That's why you might lash out or send an angry text before the calmer, more rational part of your brain has a chance to catch up and gives its input. It isn't just certain structures in the brain that influence how you experience anger. Your brain's neurochemicals help fire things up and determine how you feel and respond. So I'm not going to read all this. Y'all can read it in your own time. I just wanted to point out something else real quick. The activity in your brain kept your ancestors alive back when they needed to flee or fight serious threats in order to survive. The problem is that our brains don't differentiate between serious threats, running from a predator, and less threatening anger triggers like another car driving too slowly. So your spirit versus flesh. When you are feeling angry, your brain is also sending out neurochemicals and signals that fire up your body, so you're physically primed and ready to deal with the problem. These include heart speeds up, blood pressure increases, muscles get tense, breathing becomes more quick and shallow, digestion slows down, body temperature rises. When things get heated during an argument, it's not just a metaphor. Your body literally gets hotter and more tense. So literally your blood starts to boil and rise up. There's something that I wanted to find in here that let me see.
Dang, that was a good point though.
What?
We had put it said that anger can rewire your brain the way it thinks. It says the more angry you get, the more your brain is gonna like lead to more episodes of anger.
Yeah, I was gonna read that. I'm not gonna skip that. I'm just looking for something in this article to make sure I touch on it. I knew I read it in here. Here it is. Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. I just want to make sure it's in here. Okay. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay. Let's go back up. Again, I'm telling y'all, I read this entire article. It was so good, and I read the other one too. How to deal with a short temper. It was real good, but I'm not gonna read the entire thing. But I am gonna read a few more things. So we all experience anger. It's a useful emotion. Anger helps identify boundaries and teaches you to advocate for unmet needs. It motivates change and drives the effort necessary to make those changes happen. So like we was talking about in the lesson earlier, when you're angry, there's obviously, it's something that's bothering you. So you want to confront it. If it's a fault that somebody has done, talk about it at the right time. Pray on it first. But sometimes, again, it's petty stuff, and you have to know when that stuff is petty and small. So anger can rewire your brain. If you keep hitting your mental alarm system day in and day out, it eventually starts to rewire how your brain works. Essentially, anger can beget more anger. Repeated episodes of anger may certainly fortify the pathways that lead to more anger. So basically, if you're constantly getting out the spirit, you keep getting mad, it's gonna become a normal thing, and it's on a spiritual level. Satan gonna realize, oh, I keep getting her with the spirit. I can easily piss her off with this. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep doing it. That's why you can keep falling in the same trap. You gotta rule your spirit, rule your flesh, and stop letting Satan use you like a puppet master. Your brain's amygdala, aka the fear and anger center, can also become more reactive. Your prefrontal cortex, which is so critical for reining and excess anger, develops less connectivity. Essentially, the stress pathways in your brain become like a well-worn path, which makes it much easier for the stress and anger signals to fire. So basically, when you're constantly being a hothead, you constantly put the wrath, the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for logical thinking, it starts to not like not be as effective. Like it starts to kind of disconnect from you, and you start to become more of a hothead because you're constantly tapping the anger button. So it's like, okay, we're gonna be angry today. Anger. And so it becomes a norm to pop off at the mouth. It becomes a norm to not think to not think logically and be like, I can't do that. That's saying I need to walk away. Chronic anger can lead to cognitive decline, impact stress responses, and worsen mental health conditions. It often occurs with depression, anxiety, PTSD, and substance abuse diagnosis. So, like I said, I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Long-term anger can result in an increased risk for cardiovascular problems, a weakened immune system, more digestive problems falling and staying asleep, which can contribute to greater anger reactivity. So anger, it also hurts your health. You know, it's and like I said, the Most High, He created all these things. So everything really is a spiritual battle, and it's just so interesting how all of these things like just kind of work in us. And it says the good news is that it doesn't have to be this way. Like we talked about earlier, some don't go up by prayer and fasting. So if you're struggling with this anger spirit, you really got to pray and fast it off. Get into these precepts, really rebuke, and also understand how your body works. Breathe. You got to find some strategies. Like the Most High gives us the blueprint. He tells us how to handle these spirits on a spiritual level, but there's also things that you can do. I used to have a stress ball in the world because I definitely struggle with the anger spirit in the world. And so I had a stress ball. I forgot who gave it to me, if I bought it, but I would just squeeze it. Like when I would get annoyed or something, I would squeeze it. And, come up with some, strategic ways that can help you when you feel that anger just boiling up, rising. You could, like we was talking about earlier, journaling, definitely walking away, going to pray, having a personal time out. It says for occasional minor feelings of anger, simple things like counting to 10 or taking a few deep breaths can be a great place to start. These tactics can help you cool off and focus your mind in the heat of the moment, so your prefrontal cortex is a chance to catch up and offer some advice. Some people may find these tactics underwhelming. Sometimes you need a more serious strategy to help tame anger and get it under control in the long term. Speak, prayer, and fasting. So basically what this was saying right here was breathing helps bring your logic side of your brain. It basically brings you back to earth, basically. Because again, we read earlier, when you're getting upset, the emotional part of your brain is like this, and then the logic part of your brain is going down. Your spirit and your flesh is literally warring, and your logic side of the brain is starting to go out the window. But when you breathe, the prefrontal cortex, the logical side of your brain, it starts to catch up back to you. Oops, I can't do that. I can't do that. When you start to breathe, it's basically you're basically coming back to earth again. You basically come back to earth. So that's why I was talking about breathing earlier. Like breathing helps a lot. Breathing helps a ton. Like it basically, I don't even know how to put it in words. Like it basically helps. It brings your logical side of the brain back to you. It helps you to start thinking irrationally, because when you get upset, your blood pressure rises up. Your emotions start to get working. So you take a moment to breathe. It relaxes your body and your mind. And then you start to, okay, I can't do that. I can't say that. So I'm telling y'all, breathing helps. Like a few weeks ago, because I told you I was struggling with the spirit. I was praying and fasting. I was trying to get my life together. And a few weeks ago, I had got a little upset about something, and I breathed, and I felt so proud of myself, and I could feel it. I could feel it just going away. I was like, see that? You just gotta breathe and just
Yay.
Our praise Most High. It helps for real. Like it helps. So it says coping when anger strikes. It tells you right here, box breathing, inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. And then down here it says breathing and grounding exercise activate the parasympathetic nervous system, relaxing the body and mind. So it also says, in these cases, give yourself a timeout, communicate your need for a break, and remove yourself from the situation. Do what you need to do to relax and give yourself time to calm down. So again, in the heat of the moment, be like, hey, first of all, breathe. Because if you don't breathe first, you might say something you're going to regret. Because again, remember, when you're angry, the emotional side of your brain is up here, and the irrational, the rational, logical thinking side, the prefrontal cortex is down here. So if you say anything while that flesh and spirit is rising, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. So if you breathe, that relaxes your body and your mind, basically telling your brain, okay, logical side, I need you to come back. I need you to get back to my level. So I would recommend, my piece of advice when you're upset, I would recommend that you take a deep breath and be like, hey, I need a minute. Can we talk about this later? And go take a personal time out to pray, to ask the Most High for clarity, to examine this matter. If this is Satan, well, see. But examine the matter if this is petty, minute, or if this is a bigger, deeper issue that needs to be addressed. How should I go about it? Just take some time to calm down. Put on some soothing, relaxing music if you need to, and just go give your heart to the Most High and pray about it. It also said cold water on your face. It can activate the vagus nerve and increases the body parasympathetic response to induce feelings of calm and relaxation. So again, when you're upset, your body is literally getting hot. Your blood pressure is rising. So if you throw some cold water in your face, it's basically telling your brain, calm down, relax, calm down, relax. That's what I'm saying. So it's good to know this stuff and know how the brain works, because y'all, the Most High created it. Mm-hmm. So know these things and know some ways to help, so fight it. So ground yourself. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. I've never done that, but I'm pretty sure it might work. And then progressive muscle relaxation, which involves practicing tense and then relaxing muscles throughout the body. And then and it says a takeaway: anger doesn't have to be your enemy. By understanding what happens in your brain when you're angry, you'll be able to recognize that anger often serves as an important signal, but you'll also be able to see that your anger isn't always appropriate given the specific situation. Start with something small, pick a strategy, and practice it regularly, and consider talking to a mental health professional if you need extra help dealing with it. So I thought that was a really great article. Now, I will say that, there's a lot of good comments. We're going to read those in a minute. I will also say that sometimes anger, again, like the article was telling us, it's a bigger, deeper issue. And so that's why it's good to examine and see, is it actually something I need to address? Sometimes the anger might be some suppressed trauma. So sometimes, me and Lily, we did a podcast episode about therapy. If you're married, pray about asking your husband. That's something that he would allow. But if you find I believe there's a therapist. I know 2 therapists in the truth. So if there's something that you actually need to talk about, like it's probably some suppressed trauma that's constantly getting you upset. I don't think there's nothing wrong with talking about it. I don't think there's a sin. If you want to go, talk to a therapist about it, talk to a therapist in the truth about it. I'm going to have to drop, I don't know one of them's information. I'll have to put it in the comments after this session. But one of them, I do know her name is Tori. I don't know if she do services like this, but I'm going to put her out there. I'm going to shout her out. So Lord willing, this video is edifying and helpful. Again, it's nothing. Anger is a normal emotion. It's a regular emotion, but it's about, like we brought out, we definitely brought out Ephesians 4:26 earlier. It's about how you act in that moment. It's about what do you do when you're angry and not sinning while you're angry. So kind. I'll pray some most high.
Mighty points, man. I'll pray most high. Putting on the spirit on them to make that article, because
it was a really good article. I was like, oh, there's some good information.
Some good stuff in there.
It is because I really didn't know that. I didn't know about the prefrontal. I was like, what? I've never heard. What the? But it's good to know because it's good to know when you're getting upset, like that logical side of your brain starts to go out the window, and it makes sense why people be doing crazy stuff when they mad. That makes sense. But you gotta. But it tells you when you breathe or throw some cold water in your face, that basically brings the logical side of your brain back. Like you tripping, bro.
Yeah.
Come on now, you tripping. So, and like I said, like the article was telling us, when you starting to get mad, you feel yourself getting mad. So, crashing out is a choice. You can walk away. You're just choosing not to, and you can't keep letting Satan use you. You gotta choose life and not choose death, because the wages of sin is death. So don't keep doing something that could ultimately lead to you not getting the kingdom of heaven.
It made me think of because one of the tips was grounding, like 5 things you can see or whatever it said. But it made me think, like, if you distract your mind off of the situation, the quicker you can calm down. So, Lord wants us to take these tips. I know I'm gonna definitely take these tips and apply them, because, like we've been saying, anger is a normal emotion to feel, but it's about if you can let it control you and being angry and sinning not.
And dang, I just thought about something. Also, I don't the other article I read that I started to read that I didn't finish because that's not one I really want to touch on. I'm gonna also link these articles in the comments after the live so y'all can read them on your own time. But something that one of the other ones said was like, that's why when people are mad, it's so hard for them to stop. Like, you ever notice? I know for me, you ever notice when you're mad, that's all you can think about? Like, that's all you can think about. That's because that emotion side of your brain is working. And like the sister said, when you take your mind off of it, okay, I can see this, 4 things you can hear, whatever it was saying. When you take your mind off of it, you can calm down quicker. But that's why when people be mad, that's all they can think about, because that's the emotional side of their brain. That's all you focused on.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. If you put out your mind, you're gonna be worried about it. And so the sister said, when you think of what anger does to the brain, the opposite of anger is joy. I say that to say it's good to laugh more. The joy of the Lord is our strength. That's right. If anger does all of that, I can imagine what being joyous and laughter does to the brain. For real. Like, anger gets you out your body like that. Imagine what laughing more does. Watching some comedy movies, getting out the house, getting some sunlight.
Right.
So
enjoy the fruit of the spirit.
I was just gonna read that. That's the spirit. I was gonna read that.
Well, bring it out.
So yeah, Lord willing, this is edifying, y'all. I definitely was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to show the sisters these articles, because this was so good. It was so interesting to read. I tell y'all, when my husband came home, I was so excited. I was like, babe, guess what I read? And I'm over here trying to explain it to him. I'm like, so this is what happens when you're angry. And when he like, but this is Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, peace. Love, joy, peace. When you popping off like that, it's not joy or peace. Long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance, and good such. There's no law. Neither how much have crucified the flesh with lust. If we live in the spirit, let's also walk in the spirit. So again, we striving to live in the spirit. So let's walk in the spirit and let's choose life. This is 2 Ezra 7:57. Then Ezra he said, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, choose thee life that thou mayest live. Nevertheless, they believe not him, nor yet the prophets after him, nor me, which have spoken unto them. So, all praise to the Most High. Choose life. Again, sisters, I put my husband on the camera early. He told y'all straight up and down that I had some certified crash out moments. And I'm not afraid to admit that, because that's the only reason I come on here and be real and talk about this, because I personally battled it. So I know what it's like to pop up at the mouth, to do something crazy, to keep being disrespectful. I know what that was like. It definitely was a battle for me. And I definitely have realized I've gotten so much better with it these past few weeks. And it's just all praise to the Most High. And I pray that I don't go back to those ways. I'm going to continue to pray and fast. And Lord willing. So when I say that, it's definitely a spirit and it can be overcome. It is so true, and it is a mind game, and you can't keep letting Satan use you. Like, you got to get to a point where you're fed up with yourself and you're tired of following in the same area and not making excuses for yourself. Like, do better and choose life, and stop constantly slip up in the same area and letting Satan use you, because we have power. Remember your power. Your strength is in the Lord. The Lord is on our side. Who should be against us? The Lord is for us. So remember that you have the Most High, and you can overcome anything that comes your way with only with the Most High. So God, we're praying fast, and you gotta pray about these things. Ask us to fast with you. Ask us to pray for you. Like, if when I'm really struggling with something, please pray for me. Like, I'll be quick to tell sister, can you please pray for me, because it's power in numbers. We can't do this alone. So remember, everything spiritual. Stop letting Satan do like this with you, controlling you. Because like that article said, when you constantly get angry, it's just gonna be like basically this your second emotion. Your brain is just gonna be always more angry. So it's on a spiritual level. If you're constantly always getting out of the spirit about the same thing, Satan's gonna know who he can try. Satan know who he can play with. Satan know who he can try. And I also want to say, just know when you actually start trying, these tests will come. And they're gonna become harder. But it's just to see how much you've grown and if you're gonna continue to follow the same thing. So I pray that this is edifying. Lord, y'all have a great week, and I hope y'all had a beautiful Sabbath. I know I did. It was so restful. It was so beautiful. I had I had like a good 2.5 hour nap. It was amazing, and then I slept for almost 9 hours.
Oh wow!
Time sleep. So I feel refreshed. I feel great. But you got anything?
All praise Most High. Lord willing, this is edifying for sisters. Lord willing, we can take this and apply it to all of our lives, and we got to root for one another in this thing, you know. So, Lord willing, the Most High be with us, and we can increase in good works, continue to put off the flesh each and every day, so that we can make it into this kingdom, y'all. All praise the Most High for the Sabbath. I feel like this was like the first Sabbath in a long time that actually went by like kind of slow.
Yeah.
I feel like in the past it just be gosh dog, it's already Saturday night. What's going on? But all praise the Most High. All praise the Most High. Shalom, sisters.
Shalom. We love y'all. Call it. How about Shemal Shai?